Welcome in to the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast that is always, I mean always, he means always, she means always, they mean always, you mean always, an instant classic.
Danny Dog! Hi, Jay.
We will see you on the flippity dippity. Oh yeah.
All right, what is going on, good people? We don't actually have technical difficulties. That's an entire joke within itself. But
I thought that was just your face.
It was a collective, just broke the whole thing. That's what happened. But anyway, what is going on, good people? Back at it again, another Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast episode, the only podcast that is always, and I mean always. Casey is with me, and he means always. Right. I sound like
man, Casey. What's up, player? Where you been up to?
We got beards and nipples.
Don't disclose my fantasy football name. Damn it!
It's pretty ridiculous that ended up on TikTok. I did laugh a little bit, not gonna lie. But anyway, DJ here, Casey's here, Rabbit from the Third Perspective podcast is here, and then Adam, of course, is here. Justin is on his way, which is usually where he gets lost. So
we just close for him not showing up.
Facts.
So
hey, podcasting.
But we're gonna talk about we're gonna pull a rabbit out of the Third Perspective hat and talk a little trending topics, but wrestling related this time. But let's jump into this whole we're gonna talk about the Vince situation, and then the Booker T comments and what we think of said comments, and then Adam Page coming back at Booker T and probably more than he didn't
really even come after him. Like it was very passive aggressive. I mean, as opposed to just nutting up and just tagging him or whatever. Again, this is sad that we're talking about a Twitter war per se, but he didn't even tag him in it and say, Book, I respect you, but I wholeheartedly disagree that body image and blah blah blah, something to that matter. Like he took the low brow, like, I hope I can retire and start a shit podcast and rah, 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 rah. It's like, grow up.
Yeah. I mean, we'll get into that. Let's start with Vince first. That's the big news out of anything. I mean, Vince didn't get suspended because he's literally been out on Raw saying random things, at Raw and SmackDown saying random things the last 2 weeks. So Adam, I think you know more about the Vince situation than I do right off the top of my head. Casey might know a little better. And I know Rabbit talked about it on his podcast too, on Sunday. Anybody want to chime in on their thoughts? Some misconduct going on, a little bit of $3 million worth of going on. So what do y'all? What's the breakdown of this whole thing? Because
I mean, first of all, you talk about $3 million. Like that's a big number to Vince. Like he's a billionaire. That was like that's like me, me giving DJ $2 because that's what he's worth. $2.
Not even $5. I can't even buy a Pepper Parks picture. Okay, can't even buy a Pepper Parks, man.
That's specifically why I'm only giving you $2. You can buy the Pepper Parks picture.
What the hell?
You can at least get
Adam doesn't know the running joke with the Pepper Parks and the
no,
and the
I don't. I just know the beard and nipples.
Well, you tuned in at the perfect time.
I don't know. I'm not surprised because he is a billionaire, and they tend to do shady shit like this. But I mean, I just don't know where it goes from here. Like, eventually Vince has to step down anyway, because he's what 77 or something like that.
Yeah, 77 or about to turn 77, one of the two.
Yeah, like you gotta. What I'm impressed with, and somebody posted about this. I think somebody posted a meme about this.
When he
It was
hopped off the
like,
steps.
no, not that. Not that. You wrong. No, somebody was like, Nick, what is why is there? I'm so distracted. Anyway, somebody posted about like Nick Khan only being with WWE for like 2 years and already taking down the entire McMahon family. Which I mean, they're not wrong. I mean, people have been trying to do this for like what 50 years, and he does it in like 2. I mean, I gotta give the respect. I gotta
He did what WCW never could.
It was an inside con. I mean, job.
But in the bigger picture, $3 million ain't, like you said, ain't nothing. When you're saying it's more than one person, it's like it's multiple women. You know what I'm saying? So when WWE board did investigation, it was like former female employees with an F.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think too, like to have, I mean, we got to remember too, like Vince got so much power just within that company. It ain't like Vince is like a CEO who's not involved, who's in Cancun every month, or every week or whatever. Like Vince is literally like still the shot caller, literally backstage, talking to every wrestler when they go through the curtain and come back. So in terms of the rest of the personnel, there's still a power trip there, even for Vince at 70, whatever odd years old he is.
But in terms of the finances, I think he owns like 80%. So like, he is calling the shots in terms of the financial investments, whatever. So he still holds a lot of clout. The creative, however good or bad we want to go down that path, whatever. Things still run through him. Things are still going to run through him. I mean, this was no different than when he got popped by the feds for steroids in the early 90s.
All right, so you saying if he harassing females all through the company, right? And they put on an investigation with the board. Y'all saying that's a sham? Who on the board? Who on the WWE board?
It would be Vince, Nick Khan. There were 2 people that stepped down, I think like last year, the year before. So I'm trying to remember who took those seats, but I mean, for what it's worth, Vince is at the bottom of that scale. Like Nick Khan is God to Vince.
Too many cons in this world.
So far as the board, Nick Khan is the main person as far as the board is concerned, right? So that's where you can find out where this is even a sham or not, because who running the board, you know what I'm saying, who made the final decision.
Well, and it's like, and Nick Khan is one of those guys who they brought in from the outside. What did you say, 2 or 3 years ago, something like that? So,
and he was the guy doing a lot of these releases also.
Yeah, well, and that's what I was saying. Like in terms of him, like WWE was changing anyway, but then like he kind of like did some sort of crazy. It felt like it was like crazy overhaul changes. So like I'm not saying him and Vince don't see eye to eye, but I don't necessarily. I wouldn't, if there was like either you got to fire him today or you got to figure out a good PR move. Like I think Nick Khan would, and he seems kind of ruthless. In terms of from what I've seen from Nick Khan.
Damn. But they saying once they started the board investigation on March 30th, it was around March 30th or something. They say her salary was $100,000. But once Vince and her start doing more, it's more than triple. Once her and Vince start getting entangled in some things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well,
entanglements.
I think too, we know how this situation goes with people with a lot of money, and whether you want to believe it or not, typically nothing comes out of it, right? It's a big deal for 2 seconds, and typically nothing tends to come out of for lack of a better term, white people with a lot of money. Like, I mean, typically nothing like there's like it's like you'll hear about it, but it's not going to necessarily be something that's going. I don't think anything's going to happen. If I have to be honest with you, like considering what we've seen over the past 4 or 5 years or so, and then just knowing the track record of how this kind of thing plays out, I don't necessarily see I don't necessarily see anything happening out of this.
Well, and also, like for me, I don't really care about the financial aspect of it. I really don't, because, like I said, he's a billionaire. WWE makes billions of dollars a year. I can kind of compare it to like a Walmart. You know, people sue Walmart all the time. Like, you can look it up of how many lawsuits they get a year from like people, you know, getting hurt, you know, whatever. They just cut a check and, you know, to like, okay, let's just, you know, deal with it, because they make so much money. It doesn't matter to them. So it's like WWE. They make so much money that $3 million isn't going to affect really much of anything.
You just described TBS too.
Yeah. What I want to know is, and I don't know if we'll ever find out, I want to know who leaked this, because it wasn't the women, because along with the payment, they had agreed that they couldn't talk about it. So it wasn't them.
Do you know who the woman was?
It was a paralegal that was hired in 2015. Paralegal.
Yeah, but her friend leaked it.
Yeah.
Oh.
As usual.
Yeah, her friend leaked it, and that's why I'm saying, he goes like, that's why like it kind of muddies the water, because how else would she know? And that's why it's like we would have to like you have to know what the terms of what the NDA was.
Yeah, but some of those emails was explosive. That's why they knew them, because they read the emails. It was just that it was clear they was fucking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and they said that it's consensual, you know, all that good stuff. And to me, that's besides the point. Like basically, and supposedly Vince had committed infidelity before, which I'm not surprised. Whatever.
Hell no.
You know, again, I had heard, I don't know how truthful it is, but just for what it's worth, that he had begged Linda to forgive him, like, you know, the first time. Again, I don't have a frame of reference of the time frame, who it was with. I really hope it was somebody like Sable or Trish Stratus, because this is totally Russo booking. But
no, but whoever the head of talent, he had sex with her too. That was in the email.
Yeah, and I think that's why. Yeah,
whoever that person is. The head of talent.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why that's why I think Laurentius got yeah,
he's on administrative leave right now.
I bet and that's the thing. That's what I was saying. That goes back to exactly what I was saying. They'll take Laurentius down just as like the scapegoat in all of this, just to cover Vince.
Yeah,
he passed. He was involved. He passed the joint to him after he was done with it.
You know, I prayed to the Lord, you know, that they don't make a storyline out of this. Like, knowing them, they would probably make a storyline.
Stuff like this, you're supposed to
not
with a publicly traded. If they were still private, they absolutely would.
Just juicy. We talk about $100,000 when she first got hired. Started messing with Vince. Now she making $250,000. It's like, what is happening here? It's a lot going on here.
Exactly.
They'll recreate AJ Styles and Claire Lynch. Like we don't need this.
God, no. We don't need that. Let's leave that back.
Wait for.
You got to put Vince in this one.
Yeah, wait for Matt Castor to come bring this out in a rap.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Just saying.
Y'all got anything else to say about that? We want to jump into these Hangman Page, Booker T, Adam Cole. Well, Adam Cole didn't say nothing, but I know what I'm saying. And I think it'll spin off into another just discussion in general. My overall question, just for everybody here, are we as fans or former wrestlers, like, is everybody a little too hard, not only on Adam Cole, but more so just like this smaller generation of wrestlers?
what you talking about right now? I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, so as an overarching, I just want that as an overarching topic as I go through everything that I know right off. Casey,
for me, like, I think if you're on the independents, if you're working for Ring of Honor, AEW, whatever, I don't think that it's that big of a deal, because WWE is the land of the giants, as they say, right? My problem is when you were in WWE and you looked good, you looked like you were working out, every day. It looked like, you cared about how you looked. And then you get released and you go to AEW and you just start to look like shit. Because we know you can look good. We know what your potential is.
Yeah.
You are, the whole idea of pro wrestling, right, is that you are supposed to be larger than life. You are the superstar. Right? You're not supposed to look like the dude in the front row can beat you up in a fight.
It looks like Adam can go.
Because if that's the case, why the fuck is he not in the ring, and why are you? It's just as simple as that. Why is that guy not in the ring? Why is that guy not the superstar? And why are you? Adam and I were talking about to kind of bring up Walter. I'm not going to say his current name. It's Walter.
Gunther.
I personally he's slimmed down, and he looks good. He looks good. It's not an issue, but I'm used to him being a little bit bigger. And right now when I watch him, he just looks like an average wrestler to me. He doesn't look like the Walter that I remember. And he used to remind me of the old school wrestlers. Like if you watch, guys from the 80s, the 70s, they weren't ripped. They didn't, have six packs, whatever. They were, big, they were basically, like barrels. That's kind of what wrestlers look like. And
I don't really know the overall thing. I don't know who said what right now, but right there, what you were talking about right there is, I just want to touch on that for a minute. So it was the same thing going on with WCW. Once they got to WCW, they relaxed and everything. But some of that you can take it to the point of WWE got a lot of money, right? So they could probably have standards in their company where you had to be a certain weight, you had to be physically, and they got ways to get you there. They got trainers, they got ways to make sure you are the top shape. You know what I'm saying? Where you go to WCW after that, all that ain't there. Everything is on you to do that. You know what I'm saying? And some of these people don't have that in them. See, that's one thing about WWE might push people to be better than what they normally would be, because they're forcing them to use every ounce of themselves. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Where you go to somewhere else, they don't have the facilities, they don't have the money, they don't have the certain things to help you do the extras. You know what I'm saying?
But that's where it falls on the company. I'm not necessarily blaming Adam Cole for this. I mean, yes, he should know better because he was there. He should know. He has.
I'm blaming it on Adam Cole. Yes, I'm blaming it on him because they're all buddy over there. In AEW.
He should know better. He came. He was in WWE, right? But I think it falls on AEW. They gotta get their guys to start caring about how they look. You know what I mean? You're not an independent federation anymore. You're not. You wanna be on national TV. You want to compete with WWE. You have to put in the work to compete with WWE.
Let me ask you this: if you have a budget, would you use your resources for training or promotion?
That's where you have to.
I'll say training.
Yeah, because that depends on
they don't have much money in WWE. So how much money can you put in making sure everybody is in the top shape?
I think that depends on if somebody came up to me and was like, all right, we only got $500 left, but you got to spend it on one or the other, right? Then I mean, I think it depends on
You
what
got to
which
think about
company.
it. If you don't promote it, then nobody even gonna see none of this shit anyway. So it wouldn't
Well, I
matter if
mean-
you fat or not.
For
True.
for AEW, the Khan family has money. It's not like they're broke. They own the Jacksonville Jaguars. They own a soccer team in the UK. Like, they have money. They could build a sort of performance center. They could do this stuff. And it's not, you don't even have to like have a full staff of trainers. You just have to be like, hey, this is what we expect of you. If you want to be on the show every week, you got to look good. We got to want to put you on TV. Because the average wrestling fan, like the average fan that we talk about all the time, if you put, somebody like Luchasaurus next to John Cena, who do you think they're most likely going to watch?
Good example, because
John
some
Cena.
people got it in them to do extra without being pushed. So once you leave WWE, most of these companies don't have the money to push you. So you'll have somebody like Cena who will be put in shape regardless. You ain't got to push him. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna be in shape.
You don't need money to push them. You just got to say, hey, you want to be on the
Rapture right through.
show? You want to work? You want TV time? You got to put the work in.
Rapture
I
right through.
think-
Ain't nobody telling him to be that damn ripped.
But
When he did it on his
I
own,
think some
you
of
know
it
what
got to
I'm
go
saying?
back to the some of it got to go back to kind of like you were saying, the work ethic of not only the wrestler but like AEW. Put that in put that in the contract. Like, you gotta
You will
be
maintain
a certain level.
body weight, et cetera.
That's true.
et cetera.
Yeah, like, I mean, because I mean, nobody can
That's
shame UFC for if you didn't cut weight at 165 and you was 166 this time and they didn't let you fight. That's
Yeah.
on you, right?
That's
on
on you.
That's exactly. That's in your contract at the end of the day. So
And that's pretty much, I think, what the consensus is like UFC is, is legit. Even, amateur style wrestling is that, you have to meet that criteria. You have to meet that weight class so you can compete. With pro wrestling, yes, it's a little different. I mean, again, there are guys that are ripped to shred and they say that they're 200 or they say that they're $185. I'm like, that's a little sketchy, but like they can work the what weight they announce. It's like if you give the image that you're 205, I know that's almost like a tagline now, but like Pac or Pac, whatever this Neville, he's probably, I would say, every bit $180, $190, but they say he's 200, 205. You can believe that. But to what DJ said, like, yes, I would start putting that in those contracts. I'm like we're not gonna cut your balls off per se, but like we would like for you to maintain a certain image, so again we can promote you and whatnot. And listen, Jericho took a drubbing from fans for months, and he finally wised up and slimmed down. Now he looks good. Now he looks like Jericho from about 4 or 5 years ago,
What did you say there?
where he had the bad creepy uncle look.
But at the same time, you gotta already have a character in place to even know what weight you should be. You see what I'm saying? So that's gonna be hard.
yeah, but I think too, like,
If you're abyss, what way you should be.
well, yeah,
Yeah, I mean-
but I think even still, like, I think Abyss and Joseph Park, I don't think it necessarily changes like what weight he should be. It's just I think like it should be a certain like aesthetic. Like,
But still, even with Abyss, he naturally has the size. There's very few people that fan wise that are going to come in that look more like menacing or imposing than Abyss.
Yeah, but if you own the company and you got everybody to these standards, when he walk in, what you tell him?
He's
You
a
see what I'm
big
saying?
ass- You're a fucking monster.
It goes by character, though. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? You can't really tell them yet until they even got a character in place.
well, and I think that goes back to like I think that goes back to the contract is not going to always be the same for everybody. You're gonna always have, you're gonna have somebody like Abyss that just he fits the part. He's done it yeah, especially with AEW, like these people been around the block a couple times. Like you've done it, from time to time for years and years. So we know where you're supposed to be. But like the thing, like the backstory in terms of like the Adam Cole thing, he left for Rabid. He left WWE. He got noticeably smaller because WWE holds you to a standard where they're like, you ain't got to be huge, but you got to look like you. They want you to look better than anybody else.
The average person, yeah.
Yeah. So he slimmed down a good bit, like muscle mass wise. Not, I don't think he was malnourished or anything. It was just muscle mass wise.
Yeah.
He just didn't look as big. And a lot of people have chimed in, whether it be fans or whoever. And then Booker T kind of chimed in and said, hey, he got to get, he got to, it's a trending topic. It's like, hey, you got to gain some weight. You got to look the part.
Guy, I believe, was the exact quote.
Say it one more time, Adam.
I think the exact quote was, "We got to put some muscle on this guy."
Yeah, and I mean, he's just chiming in on basically what fans have said, and then Hangman Adam Page had chimed in and basically kind of said like, when I'm old and retired, I don't want to lower myself to just doing a podcast trashing these younger guys. And I mean,
first,
I get what he's saying, but at the same time, because like, if it depends, I think it depends. If Adam Cole is working his behind off and he just happened to lose some muscle mass, like for whatever reason, I know doing more cardio, whatever, then okay, like I'm good with that. But if Adam Cole just came in, got lazy because he was with his guys, right, then that's a little bit different to me.
But who had the podcast?
So Booker had the podcast.
It's on Booker T?
Yeah, Booker T. And then on Twitter, Hangman Page came back at him.
First of all, if Booker T is like one of the people I've been naming, like the Freak Steiner. Like Booker T, his whole career was in shape, tip top, over the top, bro. Mm-hmm. So if anybody can tell you that, and he accomplished a whole lot, tag team and single. If anybody can tell you what you need to do, you need to listen to him. When people want, I don't care how good they think. I bet you whoever you talking about ain't accomplished as much as Booker T. Huh? I don't even know who you talking about.
Yeah.
Well,
now, I say this too. Eddie Kingston chimed in, who was a little bit bigger than Booker, a little bit bigger than Adam Cole too. But I feel like Rabbit, you've seen Eddie Kingston. He got a little gut on him. But he was kind of saying, whoa. Not everybody's got to be jacked, right? That's the other argument, right? Not, some people are supposed to look like this athletic freak, this bodybuilder. Yeah. Some people are supposed to look like Kevin Owens, who can work with anybody.
Yeah.
So
Eddie, you want the animal to be jacked. You know what I'm saying? The animal biting in the corner and jacked like the Steiner. That's not the same person. You know what I'm saying? So you wouldn't want him jacked or lift a weight at all. The animal would be my man though.
But I think it goes back to it goes back to as well. Like, can you work? Right? Like
that's the bottom line.
What's your work rate? And I don't mean the running joke of work rate and Gigi Golan. What's your work rate? Right? Like how good are you in the ring? Depending on what your size is. Like nobody's telling Kevin Owens, hey, nobody's telling Kevin Owens, hey, you got to, I mean, they might be, but nobody's like, oh, you can't work, so you got to lose some weight, right?
That's what I'm saying.
I think it goes back to that too. Like, at the end of the day, can you work at the weight that you are at in terms of making it go, going back to what we said before, making it believable? That was the biggest thing. That's
why I say it goes by character, because Booker T was always in shape.
Yeah, I was going to say Booker T at 55, almost 60 years old, could whip Adam Cole and Hangman Page.
As far as Booker T, like you said, like he's always been in shape.
Yeah,
like him and Billy Gunn are in better shape now than half of the WWE/AEW roster. Just period. But like, and I don't have an issue with Adam Page. I don't. I think he's good. I think his gimmick is good. I think he's a good wrestler. At the same time, At the same time, you're trying to argue with a WWE Hall of Famer who's done everything, and then there's you who, no offense to him, no offense to Adam Page, but if it weren't for AEW, where would you be right now? Because WWE isn't knocking at your door as far as I know.
And just a little bit, he did, just with what he did in WCW was more than enough to blow him out. It's just, I don't know why he even fixed his mouth to go like that.
Yeah. But it's just, I just don't understand that, anytime a quote legend, if it is any way taken as a slight, shitting on the guys or whatever, it's, well, you're out of touch. All you do is just come out with a podcast and blah, blah, blah. It's the same thing.
I don't like that. They do the same thing with basketball and football. I don't like that.
Well,
Absolutely.
Even JR was trying to tell, guys on the AEW roster, give them advice, tell them what to do, how to do things. And they didn't want to listen to him.
Yeah, and they publicly did it. That fucking shit. Brandon Cutler was like openly mocking him, and then that's why a lot of times you hear the begrudging, eye roll from JR.
Like he's been in the business longer than most of you have been alive. Like, he knows what he's talking about. Doesn't matter that he wasn't a wrestler. He knows what he's talking about.
And I think too, like, that goes back to coaches, and we had this discussion a lot. Like, coaches, there's certain coaches that didn't necessarily play, but they know the game because they study the game. And same thing with wrestlers, and you can, like, I hate the whole narrative that fans don't know anything either. Because yes, there are certain ones who who just talking out the side of their neck, but there's also certain fans who have a desire to learn and have a desire to actually put some input out there that isn't just like, oh, we just want to tear you down. But shout out to Rabbit. I know he had to go film his podcast, Third Perspective Podcast. Be sure to check him out. I think it's Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, Sundays sometimes. I mean, it could be any day of the week.
They on a lot. I'll give them that. They get on that. They are constant.
Every trending topic, they be on that thing. They every one of them. Like our TikTok that Casey posted is probably gonna be on there tonight. I'm telling y'all, it's gonna be on there because it's trending.
I only post things when DJ puts on.
I mean, we got any more thoughts on this this topic? I think we covered it. Yeah. Justin, did you have anything you felt in your heart of hearts to say?
I mean, you guys covered everything pretty good there.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's talk about Slammiversary.
But thing, just to polish up, I've heard someone say this. It's like, congrats to the early 2000s version of the WWE because the invasion angles finally started to pay off. It would be Austin.
I gotta say this though about
it only took 20 years.
The honeymoon phase for AEW is over for me. Like, seriously,
it's been over. What you talking about?
No, but it's over for me right now. Like, it started happening. When was it? I think back at like Revolution around that time. But yeah, it's really over for me now because I feel like, and I don't know, I feel like they're too silly. Like, the wrestlers back there, they're too loose back there. They don't have any organization in the back.
That'd probably be a TikTok by itself.
What's that?
That'll probably be a TikTok by itself right there.
True.
Casey already got it brewing.
Yeah, God damn it! I can't say anything on this. I can't say anything on there.
I would never.
But they're too buddy. Everybody's like, oh yeah, they don't want to step on anybody's toes. They don't want to tell everything is good, and they just want to push the new people, who are coming, in to, come, ex-WWE guys who are coming in. They want to push them straight to the top, rather than having these guys that have been in AEW for a long period of time, and then everybody just gets lost in the shuffle. I mean, like I said, everybody's just buddy over there in AEW.
I will say this before y'all completely sour on AEW, make sure you go to a show. It was fun. I had a great time. Just want to throw that out there. It was fun. I'll
I
probably go
love the
again.
wrestling over there, but it's like the storylines.
Live shows are always more fun anyway. Like
It was fun. It was I haven't had that much fun and it's just different. Like there was just something about it. I don't know if it was like the fans felt like they actually cared about the product a little bit. Like I don't know. It didn't feel as not scripted, but like just like oh hey, it's a commercial break. Let's stop and walk in place during commercial. Like it just
Picture in picture. Actually, they're not in commercial break. They're in picture in picture.
If
they are on picture.
They're probably in picture in picture right now. If you guys
picture in picture,
if they come to your town, I say at least go within the next 6 months before the year's over, before they get too crazy and weird, which they probably already are. But
too late.
But any final thoughts? Any polishing off of things? Any other things to be said?
Nah, just Vince, keep it in your pants, go away for a while.
You see that meme going around for Vince McMahon, like where he shows him jumping off the stairs or whatever he was doing on Monday Night Raw.
It was perfect because he slipped and he actually caught himself, and Kevin Dunn. No, that was the best part because he was the master of trying to play it off.
Yeah, man, there's so many memes going around I see somebody on Instagram and Twitter, like it's funny, but like I think
my favorite is that segment. Superimposed his body in the grease in the high school dance
Oh goodness. But if nothing else is left to be said, as always, hope you guys enjoyed the show. We'll be back once again for something or another. Forbidden Doors this weekend, so maybe we'll review that next week. Should be a lot of fun. Maybe, probably not.
It's gonna be a long show.
That's probably the worst part of it. Like
I saw the
how long
runtime.
the show is.
I saw the runtime for the show. And it showed like 5 hours because like you can go watch the pay-per-views in the movie theater, which I'm thinking I might do that because I want to see what the experience is like watching at the theater.
Yeah.
And then it showed like 5 hour runtime. Plus you got the pre-show, so like 6 hours.
But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. You can watch us, listen to us, think about us, listen to us, watch us, and stuff. Apple Podcast, Anchor, Spotify, watch us on YouTube. Think about us in your dreams. Thank you, whoever did that. I couldn't find it.
Casey didn't put it up.
There's too many. There's too many. There's too many up there. Couldn't figure out which one it was. But as always, hope you guys enjoyed the show. We'll see you guys on the next one. Also, other podcast shout out for anybody who enjoys other podcasts. Fly Nation Speaks, All Baltimore Ravens. That's me. Go look me up on YouTube. Justin the Juggernaut Show. I don't know if that's a real thing. He probably still made that up. And then you got the realest deal of the dealest reels. It's actually just the real deal. REELDEEL, right? Right?
Yeah.
Right. So check that out. I heard there was an intro coming and stuff. So
there's an intro coming. There's an intro coming.
So it's not just gonna be like Casey hopping out of nowhere being like, it's the real deal. Right, that's what it is right now, right? That's what it is.
You just gave it away. You just gave it away.
We don't have Adam going like, it's the real deal.
Do. Jump out naked. It's the real deal.
Oh God.
Demonetized already. But anyway, as always, hope you guys enjoyed the show. This has been the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast that is always, and I mean always, an instant.